So Star Wars is my all-time favorite film franchise, and next week the Book of Boba Fett launches on Disney Plus. So I'm gonna do a tier list of the Star Wars movies and shows. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Movie Blog. I'm your host, Joey Stramberg, and today we're going to talk about Star Wars, the ever so controversial franchise. And well, this tier list is going to have a lot of people agreeing with me and having a lot of people disagree with me. The other thing to keep in mind, I have not seen all of Bad Batch, and I haven't seen Star Wars Resistance. So the only TV shows I'm including are Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian. So without further ado, let us get into this. Here we go. So it's divided by S, A, B, C, D, and F, and we are getting started with Attack the Clones. Now, I'm pretty okay with the prequel trilogy now, but this is the only prequel film that I would consider bad. It's not quite unwatchable, it's just bad. I think that the stilted dialogue is really bad and the romance is terrible, and the CGI is probably the worst in the franchise. I'm going to put it in the D tier. I still think its saving graces are Christopher Lee and the Battle of Geonosis. Next up, we got the Clone Wars TV show and the movie. So the movie is pretty bad. It would definitely go into F tier, but I think the show itself is pretty amazing. And it's not going in the S tier, but it's going in the A tier. I think that, especially with how it ended, everything was great. Empire Strikes Back, of course, I'm putting it in the S tier. It's like my favorite movie of all time. I don't think I need to say more. The Force Awakens. So, as you're going to find out, I'm not crazy about how the Force Awakens ended, or the sequel trilogy ended, but I still think Force Awakens is a great time. It has the best pacing of any Star Wars movie. I think that Harrison Ford is the best he's ever been as Han Solo in this one, and I'm going to put it in the A tier. The only issues I really have with it are Starkiller Base and not being exactly crazy about how it ended. The Mandalorian. So I do have my issues with the show. I think season 1 is good, but not great. But season 2 is absolutely amazing. My only issue is I'm not crazy about the repetitive storytelling. But season 2 had the Ahsoka episode and the Luke Skywalker episode, and had some really amazing moments. For now, I'm going to put it in the B tier. A New Hope, one of the greatest movies of all time, a movie that really influenced my love for filmmaking and is the reason why I want to become a director. And I'm going to put it in the S tier, of course. The Phantom Menace, I wouldn't go as far as to say Phantom Menace is a good movie, but I appreciate what it's done for cinema. It had our first ever CGI character with Jar Jar Binks, and which isn't everyone's favorite character, but without him, we wouldn't have characters like Caesar, Gollum, uh, Maz Kanata, and Snoke, and the pod racing sequence is incredible. I'm going to put it in the C tier. Star Wars Rebels. So when it comes to Star Wars Rebels, I think the highs are really high and the lows are really lows, or like really low. But you know, it has some really amazing episodes, some really bad episodes, but it has some of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. And the Ahsoka versus Vader fight is one of my favorite lightsaber fights. I'm going to put it in the B tier. Return of the Jedi. Look, it's my least favorite of the original trilogy, but I think it's still a satisfying conclusion. I'm going to put it in the A tier. I think that it has my favorite space battle in any movies, and it looks like Josh from Future Filmmaker is here. Thanks for joining, pal. And Return of the Jedi is a pretty satisfying conclusion with my favorite lightsaber duel and my favorite space battle of all time. The Rise of Skywalker. This movie's terrible. I'm not going to ignore that. It's my least favorite Star Wars movie. The last time I tried to rewatch it, I didn't even bother finishing it. I really hate this movie. It's going in the F tier. It's my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time, and honestly, it's becoming one of my least favorite movies of all time. So there's that. It does not sit well with me the more I think about it, and to be honest, it's really soured me with the sequel trilogy to the point where I almost do not care about the sequel trilogy anymore. Rogue One. I think this movie's good. I don't think it's a great movie, but I think that the character development's a little weak, and I'm not crazy about the first act. But that third act is some of the best stuff Disney has done with Star Wars. Absolutely going into the B tier. It's really good. I don't think it's great, but I can't deny that it has a great third act, and that Vader hallway sequence gives me chills anytime I watch it. Solo, this is what I consider the background movie of all of these Star Wars movies. It's not great. It's just something that you could put on in the background. I think Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover were great. But the thing that really bugs me is that Emilia Clarke and Alden Ehrenreich have such good chemistry, but because we know where Han winds up, I just don't care about this romance all that much, and it's really mediocre. I'm going to put it in the C tier. The Last Jedi. Look, I'm soured on the sequel trilogy, but I still love Last Jedi a lot. I love the first two, and look, parts of it don't hold up because of Rise of Skywalker, but that throne room battle is incredible, and the Luke on crate stuff. The stuff that holds us back is, of course, me not really liking Rise of Skywalker that much and the Canto Bite sequence. But I'm going to put it in the A tier. I think it's still a great movie. Just wish that the sequel trilogy ended in a better spot so that I could put it a bit higher. And then Revenge of the Sith. I crap on the prequels a lot, but I think this is a great one. I've always thought this was great, even when I didn't appreciate the prequels as much as I do now. I'm still putting in the 8 here. I think it's a great movie, slightly overrated with prequel fans nowadays, but I still think it's pretty great, and there's no denying it. I appreciate it a lot more now than I did, and it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And so there is my official Star Wars ranking and tier list. I know that a lot of people are probably going to want to shoot me right now, but this is just how I feel, and it's my opinion, and film is subjective. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. I'm going to get off this stream and then do a Game of Thrones ranking soon, like a Game of Thrones character ranking soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned.